Hey, welcome to the second video I've made for this channel. Today we're getting into this Cordura 20 litre backpack by Visvim. It's a backpack that Visvim's been making for years in tons of different colours and materials that I've kind of wanted for a long time. I've now owned it for 3 months and I noticed during my agonising pre-purchase phase that there wasn't really a review of this in English that gave me the insight I wanted on YouTube, so I feel compelled to make it. Visvim is of course the Japanese brand headed by Hiroki Nakamura that's known for going to extreme lengths in terms of craftsmanship. These can involve unique dyeing processes and using very traditional and expensive methods of weaving and assembling to create the brand's clothes. So where did I acquire this bag? Was it deep in rural Japan from one of Visvim's artisans themselves? Or was it from Flannels, a UK-based retailer owned by Mike Ashley of Sports Direct fame? I didn't even know that they stocked Visvim, but they had a price that was so good I couldn't pass up. We'll get into that a little bit later. The first thing to note when you get one of these bags is that it comes in a nice zippered canvas bag, which is always a plus when you're spending this much on an item. It's like getting 2 bags for the price of 1. There's also a ton of silica gel packets if you get a little bit hungry. Looking at the bag externally, it looks like a traditional backpack with a twist. I love the angled design on the leather bottom and it has an extremely sturdy backplate for back support. The bag is built out of 3 main compartments. At the front you have this zippered pocket that's as big as the front panel internally. The main compartment is very spacious and has a sleeve you could fit a small laptop in. I've actually managed to get a 2016 15-inch MacBook Pro in it. It also has this flap that has a feed out for wired headphones. Now you might think we don't really need this in the age of wireless headphones, but I imagine the average Visvim fan probably has a tube amplifier in this compartment in order to achieve the true rustic warmth of whatever they're listening to. The back compartment is accessed through this asymmetric zipper that gives easy access all the way down the full length of the bag. It has a sleeve for carrying a laptop that easily fits my 15-inch 2016 MacBook Pro, and I've also managed to get a 16-inch 2021 body MacBook Pro in it. However, this is where I've had my only real issue with the bag. It seems this bag came with the stitching on the sleeve incomplete and it's come loose at both ends. This is to the point where I can stick my finger through. For the amount of money this bag costs, this is absolutely not an issue you should encounter. I'll address this a little bit more later. I actually don't use the sleeve because I'm used to putting my laptop in its own sleeve and putting it in like this. This would also work if you have a bigger laptop. If you're not carrying a laptop, you can fit quite a lot of things in the back for separation. Depending on the size of things you put in, it might eat into the space in the main compartment a bit. You can also undo this Velcro to remove the very sturdy backplate if you want. On the right hand side of the bag it has an access zip to the main compartment, and the left hand side has these clips for storing an umbrella. Both sides have these very small Velcro pockets. They're good for storing something like a pair of wireless headphones, but you can't really store a bottle of water and expect it to stay in, so keep that in mind if you want that feature. The bag has a connecting strap that you can unclip and attach like this to help with carrying a heavy load. It also has these pull straps to cinch in the bag around your shoulders and help with the weight distribution. Now the Cordura material is decently weather resistant. It might get a little bit damp externally, but basically nothing inside the bag will. At 20 litres I would say the bag is deceptively roomy and using it for a short trip is completely doable. Now let's talk about the price, and oh boy is this an expensive backpack. In the UK it retails for about £650 or £750 if you're smoking that Mr. Porter pack. It does however absolutely hit sales. I had in mind a price of about £450 and searched for one for about 6 months. Then I came across this one in olive, which has to be one of my favourite colours that they've done recently. It was £480 on Flannels and I thought, hey, this is my moment. I actually almost got it in black for more money and I'm so glad I didn't, because I think that would have been a little bit too boring for me. And when you're spending money like this, the last thing you want to do is compromise. In my absolutely moronic world of fashion, there were only really 2 bags that I wanted. It was either this or one of the acronym bags that can carry a 16-inch laptop. Those retail for about €1,500, so somehow I deluded myself into thinking I'd save money with this one. So how do we justify buying such an expensive bag? People always say that these backpacks are built to last years upon years, and you can always find quite a few on Japanese auction sites that look to have held up quite well over the years. However, I did find this one on UK eBay that looks super scuffed. Obviously I've encountered quite a glaring issue of mine on the stitching of the laptop sleeve just 3 months in. Thankfully Flannels offered to give me a full refund, but I might just take it to a tailor for a quick fix because I don't really think I'm going to find this in the colour that I like for as good a price again. Part of how Visvim advertises their products is through the mantra, "Old Visvim never dies." On Instagram they occasionally post items from their collections which have been worn by their fans for years at a time and developed a nice patina. Hiroki Nakamura always talks about how he wants to design clothes that are future vintage, kind of the opposite of fast fashion. I know I could use this bag for 10 years minimum, but there is the argument that any reasonably priced bag would probably last you the same amount of time. And there are cheaper bags that probably have more utility than this one. But you have to ask the question, is it Visvim though? Clothes don't get you laid, that's virgin talk. My Visvim got me laid once. It's a beautiful bag and if you have the means to get it, get it. I feel like the issue I encountered was probably a one-off, but be on the lookout for it. I agonised over whether to buy this bag for months, but once I had it in my possession I didn't really regret it. I might one day buy some more Visvim, but I have to absolutely hate having money in order to do that. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or it helped you make a decision, hit subscribe. Also, check out my last video on Hypebeast forums. I think it was pretty funny.